Hello foodies and welcome back to the Christmas Gift Collection, a series of videos where we assign late Christmas presents to all of the characters in Dead by Daylight. Last time out, we gave presents to 15 different killers, more if you count the Legion, but I mean, if you count all 4 of them, but I'm not gonna do the math. Starting with Trapper and ending with Plague. Now, we do the rest of the killer roster, going from Ghostface to the most recently released killer, the Knight. Before we begin, just a quick reminder that if you do enjoy the video, it helps a lot if you like and comment on it. YouTube has a strange algorithm and it really seems driven by interactivity more than just views, so please consider doing that if you like what you see. Also, links to my Twitch and Twitter accounts will be in the description below. With all that out of the way, let's get to the gift giving, starting with number 1, Ghostface, who I'm giving the most amazing gift, Carl the Cashier, this time as an assistant and not as a victim. I know Danny Johnson is said to be extremely smart in the lore, but let's call it like it is. He got this one wrong. While Carl made a perfectly fine victim, he'd make an even better helper, chasing down survivors and dropping great one-liners like "clean up on aisle 3. This move alone would make Ghostface the game's most popular killer, so I'm not really sure what the downsides are, and we know the entity can do it because it's all-powerful, so bring Carl back, please. Next, at number 2, we have the Demogorgon, which gets a 2-part gift. Firstly, it's brought back into the realm. Life in DBD hasn't been the same since the Demodog's departure, and I know we'd all love to see the game's bestest boy return. In addition to this, I'd also celebrate Demo's return by giving it some nice new chew toys. They could even look like survivors. Imagine a Demodog curled up with a Scoops Ahoy Steve plushie, and tell me that's not what this is all about. Moving on to number 3, we now have the Oni, and this one's pretty simple. Kazan Yamaoka is getting anger management classes. To be brutally honest, hanging out with this guy has got to be like hanging out with the Incredible Hulk, before Marvel made him all nice and stuff. If Oni wants to make friends, the recipe is easy. Stop exploding in a ball of rage at the slightest inconvenience, and profit. Doesn't even have to get rid of that yee-ass haircut. Just calm down and he's good. Like I said, easy. Also easy was deciding what to get our next killer, this one being number 5, the Deathslinger. It feels like nearly every patch since his release has made Caleb Quinn a little bit weaker, leading to him feeling a bit like a man out of time. To fix this, my solution is as follows. Give him a gun. A real one, not the harpoon thingy he's been using, but an honest-to-goodness gun with bullets and, gun stuff. Make it an AK, an AR, an ASAP. I don't care. Just give my man a real gun and watch as the meta changes forever. Speaking of the meta, the Executioner's pretty good, isn't he? He doesn't get talked about very often, but this killer is pretty far above average and really doesn't come with many downsides. So, what do we get a killer who has it pretty good? Well, I can't help but think back to that one Reddit post where the guy's dad described all of the killers and talked about Pyramid Head as, quote, cool helmet, not very practical. That was the entire review. So, yeah. Let's get Pyramid Head a new Pyramid Head. Smaller this time, definitely with eye holes. We'll let Nike, Adidas, and Under Armour all bid on it to see who can be the official uniform supplier of Silent Hill. And with that, we'll get a sleeker design, which Pyramid Head is sure not only to become stronger with, but he'll also probably improve his terrible scoliosis. And as long as we're talking about scoliosis, we absolutely have to talk about the Blight. This dude has debatably the worst posture in the game, but sadly we're not here to fix that issue. Instead, I want to address Blight's biggest problem, that being the way he slides off perfectly solid objects like they're made out of butter. He's already S tier, but I think we can agree that he'd be more fun to play if the environments hadn't been coated in Vaseline prior to the trial starting. To fix this, we'll have the Blight do like the World Series winning Houston Astros. By that, I mean we're gonna cheat. Just coat the Blight in pine tar and let little old Talbot bounce around to his heart's content. Life won't be better for survivors, but hey, this isn't about them. Not yet. Next up, we reach number 7, the Twins. Of all the presents I've given every killer, literally every single one of them, this was the easiest to decide on. Just give Victor some cosmetics. Boom. You're done. You can't tell me you wouldn't love seeing Bunny Fang being chased by Bunny Victor, or a scantily clad survivor being chased by, well, I guess the Bebe is already naked, so disregard that. Still, Victor Cosmetics are behavior's path to literally printing money, and unlike when I did it, the cops won't even arrest them for it. Life is just not fair. At number 8, we have the Trickster, another killer I'm giving a pretty straightforward gift. Rather than anything extravagant, Ji-woon is getting sharper knives. Seriously, there is no world in which you should impale someone with 6+ knives and they just keep going. For all of the things musicians blow their money on, I can't believe Trickster seemingly got stingy when it came time to purchase the knives he knew he would be using for the rest of eternity. Huntress chose hatchets that only require one hit to injure survivors. Artist crows do the job provided they're close enough. But Trickster's knives? No, these are clearly from some random gas station and he bought them because they look cool. He needs to replace these as soon as possible. Moving on, we get to number 9, the Nemesis. Much like Pyramid Head and Stacy's mom, Nemesis has got it going on and doesn't need much in the way of help. His power is awesome, his design is great, and he even gets to bring friends into the trial, which is really cool for him. I love that Umbrella Corps values workplace synergy so highly. In absence of true needs, I'll address Nemi's most glaring need and give him a toothbrush. He's got a nice set of chompers, certainly, but it's got to make him a little bit ornery to have all of those teeth and no toothbrush to clean them with. With this gift, his breath also won't smell quite as bad when he says stars before crushing the heads of his enemies, which, I mean, if you're about to be murdered, at least there's that. Like Ty Dillinger, we now hit the perfect 10, the Cenobite. Whether we're dealing with Pinhead or Chatterer, the gift remains the same. Non-leather clothing. Now, we don't kink shame on this channel, but empathize with me for just a moment. Sure, the Cenobites that make up Pinhead's group, or as he calls it, a gash, which look great when they pop into someone's house and do their Hell Priest thing. But would the hellish BDSM attire not look a little out of place at, say, Walmart? Okay, Walmart was a bad example, but you do get my point. My ideal world is one where Pinhead, Chatterer, Deep Throat, and Butterball can all put on comfy clothes, crack a cold one, and relax in their front yards. Yup, sounds nice. Now at number 11, we have the Artist, or as the DBD community seems to like to call her, Wood. One thing that's unique about Carmina is that while many people have great bodies, it's rare to see someone with such a notable neck. This girl was a giraffe in a past life, and instead of shaming her for it, I think we should celebrate it by giving her a nice collection of neck rings. Yes, it's true that wearing big brass or gold rings in such a prominent place might hurt her stealth a little, but I mean, come on. The 12-foot-tall bird lady wasn't sneaking up on anyone anyway. At least now she'll look stylish when she pops by. Next up, we have the Onryo, and I'll admit that there were a lot of ways I wanted to go with this one. I thought about giving her a more comfy well to live in. You know, like the Pokeballs that make the Mons inside of them happier because I guess they're just nicer or whatever. I also thought about giving her her fingernails back because, ouchie. But, you know, I don't know, a haircut would have been nice, but I don't even know if she'd want that. So in the end, I decided to give Sadako the gift of modern technology. No longer will she have to wait for someone to play a videotape for her haunting to begin. Now, she'll just be embedded in random alpha male YouTube videos. She'll get to kill far more frequently, and if I might editorialize a little bit, I don't think we'll lose all that much of value. In the end, it's pretty much a win-win for everybody. Lucky number 13 brings us to the Dredge, who may have only just gotten here in DBD, but I'm already sending him on vacation. He and his BFF Dwight are going to the island from Hooked on You, where they can bond over their shared love of lockers. Sorry, is that joke played out? Beating on a dead horse? Well, a dead horse is actually my main reason for doing this, because the main reason I need the Dredge relaxed and kind of out of the way is so that he won't expect our rescue mission for Maurice. We will go on a Mass Effect 2 style final mission, and we won't stop until we get that horse back. Some of you may die, but that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. Next to last, we have the Mastermind, who I'm going to call Wesker from here on out because only the worst kind of person insists on calling the killers by their official names. Now, When it comes to Wesker, it's a simple case of if you know, you know. But even if you don't know, I'll fill you in. Wesker is a man of, let's say, interesting tastes. In a world full of beautiful women like Sheva, Ada, Jill, and Claire, Wesker proved that he's got a different woman on his mind. You see, in Resi 2, both the original and the remake, Wesker keeps a sexy picture of Rebecca Chambers at his desk in the Star's office. While undeniably creepy, and I mean, just really not cool, man, come on. It's also only like the 100th worst thing he's ever done, so I guess we'll let it slide. But if that kind of frustration is why he's the way he is, then we just need to give Wesker a sub to Rebecca's OnlyFans. Sure, it's gross to think about, but this is definitely one of those greater good scenarios. Also, in the sake of fairness, I will offer him a free month for my OnlyFoods, where I post food lewds and other neat photos. Link absolutely never in bio. Lastly, we have the Knight. In keeping with tradition, I'm going to do like I did with the Plague last video and close this one out by giving the last killer numerous gifts. Firstly, let's give the Knight the gift of the respect that he deserves. This killer is not only really cool, but also really strong. Sadly, the Boo Birds and Negative Nellies have taken away from what should have been a very successful chapter. The fact that some of you are shaking your heads right now kinda proves my point too. In addition to respect, I also want to give the Knight voice lines. Imagine how fun it would be if he spouted Monty Python lines and told survivors to parry this, you filthy casual, after every hit. It really just isn't the same playing as a knight who isn't constantly talking about retaking the Holy Land. But that's gonna do it for me. Again, if you enjoyed it, please do leave a like, please do leave a comment. Hey, and if you're not subscribed, we are getting closer and closer to 12,000 subs, and that is something I'm hoping to hit by the time January's over. Thank you all for watching this video. I hope you're having a lovely day wherever you are, and until next time, I've been Das Food. Bye, friends.
I've been dreaming on in my head like I've seen it. A life worth living is a life with meaning. I'll do what I love till my heart stops beating. I'm feeding this demon. Got a taste, can't erase bitterness in my